Okay, this particular effect, we're going to have some dots that are circling an object or text, whatever you prefer putting in there. And this is just a little trick that you can do using path text within After Effects by using the period key on your keyboard and making just a little period for a dot and then blowing up the font size to create a very large dot, and then creating several of them around a circular path so that you've got a circular array of dots around an object. It also will allow you to animate those dots going in a circular pattern, which is what we're going to do here. So we're going to start off with a new composition, 720-486. We're going to click OK. And the first thing we're going to do is go to our text, and we're going to click in here. I've already got this font very large, and we're just going to put a period. And the next step is going to be going to our ellipse tool, creating an ellipse. I'm holding down Shift to constrain it to being circular. And currently this is showing as a mask. But what I want to do, and the reason it's the dot is no longer there is because we've mapped it off. However, if we go to the text and we click the down arrow, and then we click on Path Options, go to Path, and click on this little arrow right here, and that's going to allow us to choose Mask 1, which is what we just created. Now you see our dot is down here at the bottom. So if I go back to my text tool, and I click inside here, then I can hold down the period key. Of course, you can do this with any type of character if you want a different type of effect. And one particularly neat effect would be using the vertical stroke key. It's right above your Enter key, below the backspace, and if you hold down Shift, you can get the vertical stroke key, and that's kind of neat effect as well, depending on how you use it. But for now, we're going to use the period. You want to make sure that you get your spacing right, and you don't have any overlapping. So right there, we're going to stop. And the nice thing about this is we can then go in, create a new solid layer. We'll go ahead and keep the same color, make it a little bit darker. We'll click on the color swatch, darken this up a little bit, click OK. And I'm going to put this below our dots. Now I want to be able to create a circle that's fairly well centered in here. What I'm going to do is press Control R, and I'm going to bring up our rulers, drag from the ruler to the very bottom of these two circles. I'm going to drag from the left to the very left of this one, and I'm going to do the same to get all four sides of the circle, the inner sides, the inner boundaries of the circle blocked off. So now what we're going to do is select, well, we have our solid selected. We're going to go to Ellipse. We're going to just click from this corner now on our guide over to the corner. You see it's, we're going to release. If you don't want it touching the outside, which I prefer that it's a little smaller, we can go to Expansion under that mask and drag it to the left. Okay, and we can go up to View, Clear Guides. Those have served their purpose. And so now we have a circular pattern here of dots enclosing a circle. And what we'll go ahead and do now is we'll animate these. So we're going to click on this arrow here, and we're going to click on, we're going to go to the first layer, click on the arrow, and we're going to go down here under path options. We've got first margin and last margin. So what we want to do is click on the stopwatch to turn it on. We're going to go to about the 5-second mark, and we're going to just animate this value. And we're going to make it do about 2 turns in a matter of 5 seconds. Okay, we're going to press N to end our work area right here so we can do a RAM preview. And that's what we've got. Of course, you can duplicate this layer by pressing Control D. And we're going to move our control point, or our anchor point, to the very center of this object, so that now when we scale it up, we're going to have that scale up from the center. Now, since we duplicated a layer that already has animation, you can see both of them are going to move. However, if we click on this on our copy, if we click on text, go down to path options, and we switch our keyframes, and I'm going to mark this one here. It's my time marker. Shift drag, snap it to here. And we're going to shift drag that one over to there. Shift drag this one, it'll snap to the very beginning of our composition. Now we've got them going in both directions. If that's a little fast, I'm going to snap drag that down to there. If it's a little fast for you, you can always move the keyframes further apart. And there we've got our effect. So you can put text in here, you can put an object in here, and add an emphasis to that object using the dots that we've got here. And of course you can increase the size of those, the font size, make them a little bit different, a little bit more varied in size, and then take it from there. One last thing that we'll look at is how to make this into a 3D layer. If we click both of these for the dots, then we can click on our transform right here. We can turn on Y rotation, and I'll drag that over to the left, drag this to the right, and we'll say that we want this to turn about 3 times for Y rotation. And what that's going to do is it's going to turn 3 times, just like that. Let's check our speed. Oh, and I must have undone that. So let's do that again. Pressing P. Hit RAM preview. So now we've got our dots not only turning or circling the center, orbiting the center, but they're also as a whole turning as a one big ring. We can do the same with the other one. And we'll go to transform, Y rotation, and we'll go back to the beginning on this one. Actually, we would, if we wanted to turn the other way, we would start at the end, hit Y rotation. It'll put a keyframe there, and then drag to the beginning and type in 3. And now they're both, wow. Well, that's a pretty cool effect, but I wasn't planning on that going around that that point right there. So we're going to have to move that over to our center, and we'll try to get that Try to get that lined up as best we can with the center. This is where rulers come in handy. Okay. And we'll change that to 3. There we go. Well, not exactly what I wanted, but interesting nonetheless.